All right, you guys, now continuing with working out this hand here. What we're going to start talking about is basically getting into some of the sculpting aspects of this. Now, before we actually combine everything and make it all ready to sculpt, we need to make sure that we go through here, and anywhere that you see any kind of gaps like this, we're going to go through and just start pulling this stuff through whatever's the next mesh over here. Just make sure all that stuff is kind of feeling like it's crashing through. It's okay if you miss some of that stuff, but the better we are at arranging that, easier it's going to be to do here. I also seem to have missed a little bit of the shaping right here to make it feel a little more natural. So let's round this off. Not really round it off. Just kind of create a little better curvature here for where that wrist would actually be. Something to that effect. That feels a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, let me get this thumb over here. Just crash that through. And I think we're in business. Okay. So once we have all this kind of worked out, our building blocks are in place. Let's go ahead and just start merging everything together and have some fun sculpting here. So just a couple things I can do. I can just clearly start at the top here, do a merge down. Probably the easiest thing to do, especially if you don't have too many components. I mean, we all should have the same stuff here since we're approaching this the same way. So I'm just going to merge down like this. And the first thing I'll do here as well is subdivide. Now, as I subdivide, I'm going to need to go in here and just start pulling some of these aspects together here. Just like so. So I've subdivided one time, and now I'm going in, just pulling together some of these components. And we'll do the same. We'll do the same right over here for this stuff here. Let's just kind of pull this into the hand. Again, just crashing through. But what's nice here is we're really giving ourselves like a nice clean building block. Start sculpting. All right, now rather than subdividing again, which we can do, we're just going to go ahead and Dynamesh this. Now before we do that, let's maybe make this a little less. Let's try to really protrude this as much as we can in here. Okay. That feels good. Now, one of the reasons we kind of go about it this way, guys, in case you're curious, it's really simple. It's because it really forces you to break down the hand. And that's really why I like to kind of approach it like this, not only for teaching purposes, but even for myself. You know, it's just an effort of simplifying the process. Okay, so that's feeling pretty good. Let's try to Dynamesh this together. So I'm going to go into our geometry tab. Let's delete our subdivisions. Just keep it set to the highest. We'll go to Dynamesh. And let's go ahead and hit that real quick. And you can see the default settings kind of give us something that's really, really jaggedy. all that means for us is we need to turn up this resolution. So I'm going to basically fool around with seeing what's a good resolution to kind of work with here. That looked like it might have did a pretty good job there. Let's actually undo that and try something just a touch higher. Yeah, there we go. That feels better. So once we have that worked out, I'm going to go in here. Let's actually make the color a little easier to work with. I'm going to start just slowly smoothing this out. Now I'm actually doing the relaxed smoothing in terms of holding down shift and letting go of shift to get just a nicer relax versus outright smoothing it too much. But if we did our job right with the blocking in, you'll really start to see the structure of the hand kind of fall in place. You know, and here you can see it's not beautiful yet. The bare necessities are there. Yeah, so that's what we're aiming to do. Now, yes, we are going to go in and essentially kind of sculpt out each finger and all that good stuff, but it's part of the fun. So here you can see some of the deficiencies here as far as shape. Probably could have done a better job aligning that stuff, but let's start messing around. So I think for the most part in the beginning, I'm going to use clay buildup. And you're welcome to use any brushes that you feel fit. For me, I just want something that's going to give me a nice little additive sense. So I'll just kind of start stroking on some volume here. And you know what? Let me also make sure that I have my reference visible. So on my secondary screen here, I'm just going to pull that up. You know, don't be lazy with the reference, guys. Can't stress enough the importance to just have that stuff up and ready. Okay. Let's carve a little bit away at some of these volumes here. So I'm going to take H polish right up here, set the intensity to something relatively low, and I'm going to start just kind of carving out some of this here. As I do so, I'll also be smoothing. And again, I'm just going to be jumping back and forth between a handful of brushes, really mainly just clay buildup. And I'm just kind of stroking on a little bit of volume. We can start thinking about some of the underlying skeletal system here. Indicate it if you want. Just be subtle with it. We don't have to get too crazy. And I'll just slowly start just kind of sculpting away. And you know, for me, it's just trying to identify the areas that that really need the love. I don't know what's up with my tablet today. I mean, my Cintiq is kind of sticking here a little bit, which is not making any of this that much easier. I know, I'm full of excuses. So, you know, slowly just kind of getting the details, getting the anatomy. And the more shape I introduce, the more I can start to really see what's working, what's not. And it'll allow me to go in here and be a little more bold with some of my decisions and choices for what I'm shaping. Now, for the most part, I'm just using the move brush just to get most of this stuff worked out. And one thing I like to do on the fingers themselves is I'll kind of go in here and just identify where that nail is going to be. Just for context. And let's make this a little darker, just so I can see better. It's almost like blending into the background here. Now, I do like when the fingers aren't just perfect replicas of each other. So for me, it's nice when you kind of get a little bit of nuance between the fingers. Just kind of adds to the believability of it. The imperfections are a good thing as well. As you can see, like the more I kind of mess with this, the cleaner the forms will start to be. But what's most important to illustrate here is because we made the effort to block something in that really had the structures intact. Once we combine it, it's really just a matter of having some fun sculpting. Let's take our damn standard real quick, and I'm going to do a little bit of sculpting here to distinguish some lines. Just to get a little more clarity from some of these shapes. Now we're, I am trying to keep this somewhat stylized, so I'm not going for total realistic detail, you know, but it is nice to be able to kind of just carve in a little bit of that stuff. Smooth that out a little bit. So you can see I'll start really getting some of the more nuanced structure here in place. Kind of going for more of a stylized hand here for sure. I'm using dam standard in the inverse way to kind of get that top plane reading a little bit better. And then I'll just kind of soften it out. Let's get these creases to be just a little more visible. And then, of course, the interior webbing, I'll just kind of go in and make sure it's nice and clean. So by no means a perfect hand just yet, but you can kind of see where this is going. I don't think I'm going to sculpt this hand in its entirety for this demo. But this is just more or less for you guys to just see the process of getting started with this. So I anticipate some questions when we reconvene in class, but for now, you guys just have fun with this stuff. Just gonna organize these nails to be a little more accurate in scale. Just using the Move topological brush. Now the fingernails, some people will model them into the mesh, and some people will treat the fingernails actually separate. I prefer the separate way, but in the example file that I sent you guys, you'll see a couple different scenarios there, so you can kind of pick what you prefer. All right, in a nutshell, this is our hand. I'm going to call it quits here, just for the sake of time. But I think you can see where this is headed. Of course, you can have a lot of fun really doing like an anatomy study of the hand. But most importantly, what we want is just a good, everything structurally sound here. Okay, hope that's helpful to kind of see. So as you can see, it's really easy to get going here. You know, we really just subdivided our base mesh, closed all the gaps, went into Dynamesh, and set the resolution high enough to where we can freely start sculpting. And as you can see, it's still really low res. I can definitely go in here and subdivide this one more time and start doing more nuanced detailing if I want to. But as mentioned before, you guys have more stylized characters than anything else. So perhaps just kind of subtly indicating some stuff here is really all you need to do. And I would just expect your hands to be structurally sound, minimal detail, nice and clean. It's really all I'm looking for. Okay, hope that was helpful. We'll talk more in class for those of you who need a little more guidance with this, but hopefully this is enough to kind of let you guys work. And man, the more I look at it, the more I want to do some change in here, just some stuff. So let me just kind of do that real quick. Modeler's job is never done. It's amazing. I'm trying to walk away from this, and I just keep wanting to make it cleaner. Okay, now I'm going to walk away. All right, cheers, guys. I'll see you in class. I'm going to save this. All right, awesome.